Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jayme and today we have a very different kind of video to do. So we're going to be doing some organization in my yarn room. So I have listed in my description of every video the link for my Etsy shop. However, my Etsy shop has not been open in 6 weeks at this point, and that is because everything is incredibly out of date. I have colors listed that I don't have or use. I don't have listings that I should have. I need to expand sizes on some of my listings. So we have a lot of work to do to open my Etsy shop. But the first thing that we need to do is organize my yarn room because it is a disaster. I have a yarn inventory spreadsheet that I have not updated in 5 months at this point, and I have added pounds and pounds of yarn to my stash at this point. I have gone through yarn in my stash that I never took out, so I need to very badly update that. I have just stuff in my room that I need to get rid of, that I need to organize, so we're gonna spend today taking care of that. So we are going to head into my yarn room, see how bad it is, and then we're just gonna go from there. So let's head over. Welcome to my yarn room. Let me take you on the tour. It's bad. It's real bad, guys. It's real bad. Okay, all right, let's just do this. All right, so this is the view of my yarn room from the doorway. So let's start at the beginning here. I've got my mirror. That's me, hello. I have my ironing board, which does hang, so it should go into the closet. I have a cat scratching post with a pair of scissors on it for some reason. The scratching post will stay, the scissors will get organized. I have another cat scratching post. This is my hanging stuff and then bags. So this is all inventory that I've made for my shop that I do need to update in my shop. And then we've got the yarn. So this is all of the yarn that I don't have categorized, that I don't have categorized in my spreadsheet. So I have one box, I have two boxes. This is finished projects. There's a skein there. There's some skeins there with my space heater. There's another box back here, all of stuff that I need to organize. I do have a closet that I can put my hanging stuff into. I have a treadmill, which I do use and will stay. I have an exercise bike, which I don't use and needs to leave. We have my desk, which has my head on it, my yarn winder. We have a dresser that has just random things on it. We've got my printer, a laminator, a yarn cone that I use for weights. This holds my packing bags and then a bunch of miscellaneous items. Let me find a place to stand. This is more finished objects. This is yarn that I need to make into items. And then I have, look at that, more yarn and also some bins that fell onto the floor. This is all of my organized yarn. So we have a 16 cube shelf. The bottom 12 shelves are all yarn that's in my inventory. Then we have finished projects, and then we have finished scrunchies in those two bins. This is my scrap yarn bin, and this is my random crap bin. Then in this corner, we've got fabric because I was going to make stuff, and then the yarn that I used when I first started learning to knit that I need to just throw away. We've got more yarn. This is all categorized into projects. This one is whips that I need to finish that I completely forgot about. Behind that we have a couch that is covered in both my rave gear and my random knitting gear. So I have a set of blocking boards. This is a second set of blocking boards and my Swift. Some of these boxes are honestly empty and just garbage. And then we have a chair, which is what I want to put in this room instead of the couch. So yeah, we've got a lot of work to do in here. Now it takes us back to the beginning, so there's my mirror again. So yeah, let me put this camera down and we will talk about the game plan and then get started. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is try to make some space in this room, which is gonna be very difficult. It's not a very big room, as you saw, but I'm gonna do what we can. So the first thing I'm gonna do is all of these are gonna go into the closet. It's like literally right there. I don't know why I never thought of putting them in the closet in the first place. But we're gonna go ahead and put them in the closet. So let's do that now. Okay, everything's in the closet. So I've got all the clothes that I've made, my ironing board, and that coat rack thing is now in there. So closet is good, full. So let's make a little more room. Let me take my exercise bike downstairs. Okay, so the exercise bike has been taken downstairs. I moved the cat cactus from over there to the corner between the treadmill and my dresser. And then I moved the box of the chair to block the door so that I can't leave until this is done. So we're gonna keep on working. So the next thing we'll do is make some space so that I can actually access my yarn shelves. So all of my bins over here, oh, this is gonna tilt. All of these bins here, we're gonna move them to along this wall, just temporarily. So right along here is where they're gonna go. And that will clear up some space so that I can move this box and this box back. And then we'll clear off my desk. This angle is certainly interesting. We'll clear off my desk next, and then actually be able to set up to do the yarn inventory. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me fix the angle on this camera. Okay, so that is done. We moved the bins over there, and then I just kind of rearranged so that things are more accessible. So I put my finished projects back here, back there. I have my big box of yarn here. I have another box of yarn I need to go through here, and then I have another box of yarn I need to go through right here in front of the camera. So let's start doing this yarn inventory. So I think the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to start with this bin here along with this bag, because these are yarns that are currently in my inventory that I made a project with that I need to remove them from the inventory. So we'll do that first. And then I'm going to start going through my smaller box here, and I will inventory them on my spreadsheet on my computer, which is right here. And then I'll put them in this box, this bin. When this bin is full, I will put them onto my shelves in their correct spot. So when I finish that box, then I'll start on the big box. And my plan is to just keep going with that for as long as I can until I run out of space, because I do fear I'm going to run out of space on my shelves. So yeah, let's just get started, see how far we can make it. I am starting my inventory. So this was last updated January 26th. And I had 21.457 kilos of yarn. So just a small collection of yarn. But let's just go ahead and get started. I have my scale here. I can't back out the camera anymore. I might move it to like the other side so you can actually see what I'm doing. And yeah, let's get going. So I have done as much as I can. I cannot fit any more yarn into this 4x4 shelf, unfortunately. I did do some reorganizing. So this used to be my 1-weight yarn here, my 2-weight yarn here, my 3-weight yarn here, and all more of my 3-weight yarn. So I have condensed down. So this is my 1-weight, my 2 weights in this bin. This is all of my 3-weight. I have condensed my bulkies and my super bulkies into these 2 shelves. They did used to be the bottom 3, and I put like miscellaneous in this one in the corner. And then I had some small whips, like ponytail holder whips, scrunchy whips in here. Removed those, put them in my proper bin, and then filled this one with Lily Sugar and Cream cones, this one with Lily Sugar and Cream cones, and this one with Lily Sugar and Cream cones. I still have all of this yarn to go through, unfortunately. I do have plans for like a good amount of it, so I might use it before I need to add it to the inventory, but I am looking at getting shelves from one of my friends, so we have some options there. And then I did put a little bit of yarn into my bins, so I had 3 empty bins, one for Val's Moon Moth sweater, one for my Aunt Janine's sweater, and one for my mixed rib cami. So whenever I got to those yarns, I did put them in their bins so they didn't have to go into the shelves. So when we started, we had 21.457 kilos of yarn. Right now, without this yarn and without the like active yarn that I have on my whips, we are up to 33.015 kilos of yarn, which is a difference of plus 11.558 kilos of yarn in 5 months. So, yeah, I have like 75 pounds of yarn plus this. So I probably have close to 100 pounds of yarn, which is a lot. So need to get to work. Need to make some stuff. Yikes. Okay, so I do think that is about all that I can do in here without more shelving, unfortunately. I need to get through the rest of this yarn, and then I need shelving for my finished objects, which is also top shelf up here. These 3 squares are all finished objects. So I need to get some more shelving for things that I don't hang, but I need to like keep to sell. And then when we have that, we can tackle this couch, which let me show you what it looks like. Yeah. So I need to tackle that couch and then put the new chair in, which means I need to move it and untrap myself. Because I'm not staying in this room until I get a new shelf. But I did good work today. I'm not going to split this up into 2 separate videos. So whenever I get more shelving, I'll be back. Same day, still in the same pajamas, but I had a bit of a brain blast. I looked at what was in my shelves, actually, and I realized that in this shelf here was finished objects. So there was a sweater in there and a top. So I tried on the sweater, figured out that it is probably like a size large, put it in the closet with the size largest. The top, I didn't feel like trying on. It looks pretty small. I'm gonna go with probably like medium, but I need to get some measurements of it and then I'll figure out what size it is. Hang it up, put it in the closet. For now, I just moved it into my other finished objects cube, and then I inventoried the last of the yarn that was in this room. So I have a bin from my salty days that has 7 skeins of yarn left in it, so I shoved 7 skeins of yarn into my project bag. Then I filled that bin with Nikki's garments, skeins, and then I put the rest of them into the shelf. And then I have one of those empty boxes that I had. I put my sister's garment skeins into there. Finished it off. And then in this actual cube shelf, we put miscellaneous yarns. So it has 2 skeins of twine cotton. I have a 3rd skein, but I'm working with it right now, so I'll add that whenever it's done. We have a skein of Hunter Green. I have my Beanie Brigade yarns. And then I also had some mandala yarns. Those are DK, so they went in their size 3 cubby. So that means that all of the yarn that I paid for with my own cash money is inventoried. And I have a genuinely absurd amount of yarn. It's even worse when you think about the fact that this isn't all my yarn. I have yarn from my grandmother, who passed away back in April, and I'm not ready to go through that yarn yet. And also, there's not really a point because my dad said that he keeps finding more yarn up in her attic and in her basement, so I'm gonna wait until I have all the yarn, until I've talked with my therapist more, and then I will go through that yarn. But right now, as of 6/28, we have 41.246 kilos of yarn, meaning that since January 26th, in the past 5 months, I have added 19.789 kilos of yarn to my stash. I have almost doubled my stash since January, so I am officially on a yarn buying ban. No more of that. But what we can do is finish organizing my room. Kind of. I don't think that I'll be able to like get this entire couch cleaned off and like be able to get it out of here because I still don't have extra shelving. I did order a bookshelf to put over on that wall to put my finished objects in. And my friend has a 3-cube shelf that I'm going to steal from her sometime this week after work. And I'll put my rave stuff in there. And that will be good. But let me set the camera up and just go through as much of this as we can, put away what we can, and see how bad it is afterwards. So here is the starting look. It's a disaster, like everything in my life. But we'll see how bad it is after we're done. So let's set the camera up and do what we can. Ponchos. Alrighty, so the couch is cleaned off. My little man, who you heard screaming outside the door, maybe you heard it, I don't know, with the speed up. But he was outside the door screaming, so as soon as I opened the door, he ran in. I can't get him out, but he's about to be real scared because the next thing we're going to do is relocate the couch. So all that's left on it is the pillows. So I'm just going to scoot those to the back somewhere, and we're going to drag this out into the living room and break out the boneless chair. So, oh, there you go. Sorry, it's clean, and he's not used to being clean in here, so he's just exploring right now. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and, wow, I look great. Gonna go ahead and move this couch out, and then we'll open up the boneless chair and see how gigantic it is. So let's do that. Okay, well, wow, I'm sweaty, but there it is, my boneless chair. It comes with an ottoman, but the ottoman is like gigantic. Hold on, let me. So this is probably like 3.5 feet, 4 feet long, tall. So yeah, it's a big boy. Didn't think that it would be this big, but it is. So yeah, not sure what I'm gonna do with the ottoman because it's just too big to be practical at this point. I'll keep it in case I decide to make it into like a round chair at any point. Oh God. For now, I'm just gonna put it on my treadmill until the next time I need to go on a walk or a run, and then I will, I don't know, do something with it. Hold on, I think somebody might be about to enter the room. No, he's not. So, yeah, let me, ooh, too far, too far. Oh, he did come in. So, yeah, that is going to be it for the organization of my office space. I will do another video in this series, kind of, whenever I actually go to reopen my shop. So going through all my inventory and everything that I have. Cat's already on the chair. You can't see, but he's on there. So, yeah. This was kind of a strange video. Definitely not what I normally do. But if you did enjoy it, please give it a like. Subscribe if you're not already, and leave a comment down below. Let me know, Do you have a dedicated yarn space? How much of a disaster is it? Please make me feel better about what my room looked like until like 10 minutes ago. And yeah, I'll see you next week with another video.